Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. This life journey will either make or break you, but I truly believe that we were all born with that undying fight. Not just to survive, but to thrive. This is my life. No filters, no gimmicks, no storylines. Welcome to the life of Black Moses.
Welcome everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Life of Black Moses. Y'all have probably been wondering where I've been, and that is what this episode is all about. I've done a lot of videos so far that really just showcase like stuff that I do. So like my painting and do-it-yourself stuff. But my really big drive for doing this page was to really connect with people who deal with mental illnesses. So y'all excuse my allergies. These past 2 days, these allergies have been killing me. It's pollen everywhere down here in the South, on your cars, on your shoes, just on your doors, everything. So it's just bad. But like I was saying, I really did this page because started doing the vlogging because I want to reach, touch, inspire, encourage, maybe even educate some people who are dealing with mental illness. Maybe it's, maybe you just got diagnosed. Maybe you've been diagnosed and you're in that denial phase, whatever it is. I think I've dealt with most of it. What I will say is mental health is ongoing. It's never ending. It's something that you have to be able to adapt to and just kind of go with the flow sometimes. So we're gonna get talk a lot about mental health. We're gonna talk about some of the things that I've been dealing with lately, why I've kind of been away a little bit. What I will say to start is, it's okay to just stop and just deal with your mental health. It's okay to stop and not be okay. It's one of the things I'm learning. I'm always on the go, but I have to learn how to just stop and just not be okay. It's okay. It's just sometimes you just got to get through that period, right? So I'm gonna start. First thing I need to do before we really get into that, to the meat and potatoes of this video. I've been having an issue with my 2014 Mustang GT. This is my street car. We built this car to race it. But I'm down in North Carolina now, so I'm kind of skittish about racing it and just out here by myself. So I've just been kind of taking care of the tidbits and tiny ins and outs of it. But before we really get into this, and I tell you more about what I'm doing with this, I want you guys to like, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to hit that notifications bell so that you can get notified of all my upcoming videos, okay? So yeah, let's get rocking and rolling. So this Mustang, we put the slot, what did we do? We did the slotted and the drill, rotors and pads, as you can see. Slotted and drill rotors, and then I think they were semi-metallic pads. I think we did something where we went back in to check something, or we was checking something. I don't know what happened, but we ended up having a squeak. It ended up one of the brake, brand new, and it's squeaking when we let off the, go get to a stoplight, you hit the brake, and then you let off of it. So we took it apart and realized that one of the push pins that pushed the pad off of the rotor went, so the caliper presses the pads in, and then there's these pins that stick off of the pads into the back of the caliper, and it pushes the pad off of the rotor. One of the pins broke off somehow, and so that's where we're getting the squeaking from. So you got this side has the pin, so it's pushing off of the roller, but this side is staying on the rotor. So I was getting this little scrape. So I just need to get that. Technically, I only need to do this one side, but I'll probably just do both sides, because when you buy your brake pads, they give you the whole set for all the front ones. So just to make sure I can maintain even where it's possible, I'm just gonna go ahead and just change all the fronts. Again, my priority tonight is to get this done. The Bulls game is on. We losing by 19, so I'm not quite enthused, but if I get distracted, I may only get this side done, which is the important side, and I can just do the other side tomorrow. I'm gonna be honest, probably the hardest thing for me to do is talk about my mental health. I'm not sure who has that challenge, so a lot of times, like, when I'm talking about my mental health, like, I have to be in a certain mood. Like, I find that a lot of times I want to talk about my mental health, and there's a lot of things that in the moment that I want to talk about, but I also, I don't know, I don't know. I guess it's anxiety, or, am I going to say the right things, or am I going to sound crazy, or people going to look at me? You have all these, like, things, like, when you talk about the stigmas, there's just so much that goes through my head, and, like, a lot of times, I don't know, maybe I feel like I don't say the right things, or I don't know, it's just weird. But just lately, like, these past, like, 2 weeks, I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks that I haven't posted a video, I've really just been like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna, record, and I'm gonna share these things. But like when you're in when you're in like a depressed episode, like, you really don't want to do anything. I'm like, right now, like, I'm not necessarily in a depressed episode, but at the same time, like, I'm forcing myself to do things, like, and I'll show you my board. Like, I made a board. Now we'll go talk about the board in a little bit, but I'm literally forcing myself to record because it's something that I want to do, but my bipolar is, like, kind of like tugging me the other way. So, like, my mind is like, I know I want to do this, like, but, like, my body is just like, no, you're not going to. And so, like, I get to a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna record, and if you guys like it, great. I've gotten to a point in my life where it's just like, I'm not living my life for other people. I'm not living my life to be accepted. I'm living my life, like, fully encompassed in who I am, and okay with that. But it's still hard to talk about mental health, especially, dealing with the ups and downs. That's the most challenging part for me, is the ups and downs, like tough. But one thing I'll never do is I'll never complain, right? Well, we all gonna vent. We all vent, but I'll never just become a complainer, like, oh my God, life is so bad. Like, you have to find, like, the silver lining in everything. Like, and I know me saying that sounds easier than it is. Hell, when I'm going through episode, I don't even feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm only saying that now because I'm, like, in an even keel type of place. But in reality, like, you have to either be able to remind yourself when you're going through it that, you're gonna be okay, or you have to have somebody around you that you trust that can just give you that slight encouragement every once in a while. And then other times you should just be left the hell alone. Like, sometimes it's just, like I said, it's just life. So you just have to get through those. Sorry, y'all, I'm looking at this. You have to get through those just tough moments and just keep on pushing. Sometimes I don't even like to make it known that I'm going through an episode. If I can bear to hide it, it's really hard to hide it from my wife, though. Yeah, it's really hard to hide from my wife. But when I listen to her talk to other people about our experiences with my mental health, I really feel really good, because, like, she understands, like, she knows, like, when I'm going through something, just, hey, just leave him alone. Like, I'm gonna leave him be. He get it. Like, a lot of times, like, when someone has a mental illness, like, how we react to what people say to us, like, a lot of times things that we don't like, or things that, like, kind of throw us off of our center, right, out of our comfort. They don't necessarily get the reaction they want, but I think that they understand. Like, for instance, my wife understands that, like, my response is not necessarily, like, indicative of how I feel, or how I'm going to, how I'm going to respond to that situation in totality. Like, when you tell me something, I might react out of emotion, or, like, have just a bitter attitude for a few minutes, but then I get over it, right? So it's just about having people around you that understand and are just patient, right? You need patient people around you when you're dealing with mental illness. All right, so real quick, I finished this side, so I just want to show y'all this real quick. So this, you see that thickness? That is the back side. You see these two pins? They're both there, right? That's how it's supposed to look. Now you see this? So this is one pin. Oh, the other one's missing. And you know what was making the squeaking sound? It was scratching my freaking rotor. This freaking thing. That right there, it kind of bent in because this side wasn't pushing out from the rotor. It just kept stayed up against the rotor, and this just started scratching the freaking rotor. Luckily, I caught it quick enough, and luckily it's toward the very outside of the rotor, so I ain't gonna change the rotors. Not gonna do it. It'll be fine. It'll be plenty of stopping power, but just want to show y'all the difference. Like, if it don't feel right, if it don't sound right, something's going on, and it's not supposed to wear this uneven. So I got the driver's side done. I'll do the other side. It's good that I come out here and do this because it keeps me active. I'm gonna get inside and we will talk about what has prevented me from being active, and I'm gonna show you guys what I did to kind of not balance myself. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened. And then I'm going to show you what I personally did to manage my episodes. So I hope it helps you. Now, I'm going to tell you guys what happened, and I'm going to show you how I coped and what tools I used to get through it and keep pushing forward. But what I want to say to you is I want to put the big old public service announcement that how one person deals or how one person copes with their mental illness, the coping mechanisms, the check-ins, like it's gonna look different for everybody. So what works for me is not always gonna work for others. So what I typically do, and I'm listening to other stories and how they coped, and it gives me ideas, but I never bank on it completely working for me. Anything I say, I want you to take it, and I want you to just, remix it to work for you, right? There's no one way to skin a cat. There's no one way to feel better when you're feeling down. But I want you to be able to at least take what I'm saying and just use it as an idea. Some of the stuff I say, you're like, oh, hell nah. That shit is not going to work for me, right? It's just not going to happen, right? Because I may have the ability or access to certain things that others may not, or you may have access to certain things that may make something easier for you that's not easy for me. So again, I want you guys to know that I'm not telling you how to cope. I'm just sharing with you my experiences and hope that it will help give you or spark some ideas or spark some thoughts, give you some things maybe to just try out. And if it doesn't work, throw it away. If it does, add it to your toolbox. All right, so story time. So when I moved here, prior to moving here, I was running Killing Me Moving and Transportation. So I started my business. So one of the main reasons I started working for myself, aside from the increase in ability to manage my own schedule and of course make more money working for myself, the biggest plus to entrepreneurship was it allowed me time and the ability to not only make a living but focus on my mental health. So that was a big thing for me. So there was a lot more stability with running a business on my own. I didn't have to worry about being laid off, fired off, right? It decreased the anxiety, but at the same time, if you are a business owner, running a business is stressful, right? So running that moving company was stressful. So I always tell people that my moving company was really like, it was a means to an end, right? For me, it was like I never thought I'd be doing that forever, but it was a good way to build my experience, not only starting, but running and growing a business. And then it gave me confidence to feel more comfortable actually going and doing, starting other businesses. That for me was really like where I was like, yep, I can do this, no problem, and I can do it over and over and over again. So when I got to North Carolina, I was like, I am not doing all this labor anymore. I'm not like, I literally worked, I'd say 90% of the jobs that we ever did, like I've done over 3,000 moves on this body. So I was, yeah, it was a lot. Like it was great for my mental health because when I got home, I was always tired, so I didn't have like these huge ups and these huge downs just because, it was constantly working out. I didn't have to have a gym membership. I was working out every single day, right? But when I got here, I found that, just naturally just being in a much slower place and a much more, like in general, it's really slower here, right? It's much slowed down and it's just cool. It's like a lot more sunlight, so I get a lot more vitamin D. That helps. But really the thing that happened when I got here was I started my home solutions company, but my goal was, even before I got here, I was, and I'm going to share this with you guys now because I was kind of just keeping it quiet, to myself until I really got done with it. But I'll share that, I did all my classes to be qualified as a trainee appraiser in the state of North Carolina. Back in December, I actually was able to, if you guys don't know, becoming an appraiser is extremely hard. Like taking the classes, that's one thing. You just pay for the class, you take them and you pass the test, and then you can get licensed to be a trainee appraiser. You just send that on in, right? The hardest part is when it's time to do your hours. You have to find a supervisor, so it's really hard. It's really, really hard to find a supervisor because there's not a lot of people that can supervise, right? So it's a really hard industry to get into. But needless to say, I found somebody. I was good. I started going through this process. When I got here, we had to go through all these things to get everything nailed down. I'm not going to go into details, but needless to say, it was a long process, right, to get going. There was some paperwork things that had to be done, and it was a third party that had to get involved so we can get that taken care of. Just their process. I'm not going to name the company, not going to name the people, but just know I was getting ready to work with a major company to do my training hours. Come to find out, down the road, we're just almost at the finish line. They had to pull back and weren't able to bring me on. So that right there, doing like 3 months hard work, focused on this one opportunity because I was told that it was there and they were gonna for sure bring me on board. It set me back, needless to say. Like, and it wasn't like a instant. It was like, up, I feel this coming. So let me pause here and say, like, I was diagnosed in 2013. I don't know exactly when, but I'm pretty sure it was like December or winter of 2013 that I was diagnosed. Right around that time. So it's been 9 years. So, and at the same time that I was diagnosed, I had been working on my master's in social work. So if you know about master's in social work, we learned the DSM. So at the time it was the DSM-4 going to DSM-5. I don't know where they are now. Needless to say, I was able to, along with not just my education, but like going to therapy and being on medication, I was able to get to a place where I had coping mechanisms. We got really good with check-ins. I learned a lot about what I needed to do for myself. So when I got that call telling me that I was not going to get the placement, it was like, damn, back at square one. Like, what the hell am I going to do? This is supposed to be the next steps in my evolution as an entrepreneur. Get these hours, get my certification, get my licensing, and then I can move back into, I was sacrificing my independence and my ability to choose the work that I wanted to do. And in a sense, I'm still choosing, but it's like I'm working, literally taking orders, I'm okay with that, but I know that that's not ultimately where I want to be forever. I want to be able to take the skills that I have and build something of my own. But it just kind of got hindered. It's just a major setback, right? And when they say like a major setback for a major comeback, I wasn't feeling that shit, y'all. Like, not at all. Like, in the moment, I was just like pissed off. Like I wanted to just start making calls to like find another placement, but it was just like, nah, I just need time to just kind of reset. I haven't really done a whole lot. Like, I haven't really had a whole lot of energy. I just been in the slumps. So I got overwhelmed. As soon as I got that call, the same day, I brought my ass in this office. And I'm like, the problem with having anxiety and bipolar at the same time is like when the bipolar hits, it's just like, but if you're in a manic episode, it's like you're going, like just going crazy, you know, because manic can be, it doesn't always have to be like going crazy, ripping your clothes off, right? It could be like feelings of grandiose and like you can do anything. Like if I jump off this building, I'll fly. Just that's an extreme example, but you know, it's just like I'm the shit, like kind of like an out of body thing, right? And it's during those times I can get a whole lot done, right? But I got stuck, and it was like I felt like there was so much I had to do. I was worried about like long term, you know, like just being able to provide. You know, now y'all, let's just be clear. I'm gonna be fine. Like, money is cool. I'm straight. Like, I'm working. But it's just when you have a game plan and it just completely gets fucking shattered, that can be like destructive to someone with the mental illness, especially someone with bipolar. So speaking strictly for someone with bipolar, like that shit could be hard. So I came and I wrote this fucking board like a week and a half ago, and I just fucking just like got to it, right? So what this board did, I'm gonna turn it around so you guys can actually read it because I'm viewing it backwards right now. I want you guys to be able to read it. But what this board did for my fucking life, it saved my brain like major, right? Like I could, like the thing about me is like I have to see, like I have to like, I like to feel like every day that I accomplish something, right? But if I don't see it, a lot of times I get anxiety and like it'll just bother me. I won't sleep, like it'll hinder me more. Like I won't want to do anything. Like I feel like I'm a failure. All these things go through my head, so I have to do this. And as you can see, like over the course of the last 2 weeks, I've knocked out pretty much all of it. All right, so that video premiere was literally the I just killed it. I just killed a mosquito, y'all. Y'all, it's some big mosquitoes down here in North Carolina. Let me just tell y'all. So like, yeah, gotta get them killed real quick or they'll kill you. Anyways, so I had all of this big old list and like literally like y'all see this over here. Stop being a pussy and record. Like most people can't handle talk like that, but I have to like encourage. Like I have to like be a drill sergeant with myself. Like, and even me writing that and my desk being right here, so I see it every time I'm sitting there. Like this is literally my first time recording. So I had to look at it for 2 damn weeks, which is okay, right? Like I got all of this done, so I'm not gonna trip on this because like I have to remind myself and dumb it down for myself and remind myself that like you did shit, like you got stuff done, like website. I built a whole website. Like I did our taxes in like a matter of 2 days. I registered my main business, the parent company, which is Kenny Brew Industries. Like, so only thing on this list I have left to do is business cards, edit videos, which I have not done, and I got one more business to register. Like, you know, when I look at this, like I have to like literally like you did that. Like, you're good. You're good. Like, calm down. You're good. Everything is gonna work out just fine. Just literally like if you can get you a list and just start knocking that shit down, you're gonna feel so much better. And even though like you might still be going through an episode, like regardless, like you feel better. Like you feel better. It organizes the dysfunction in your head. I guess I'll put it that way. So, you know, that's just one thing that I encourage you guys to do this episode, is just to organize your thoughts, right? And the only way you can really organize, you can't organize them without writing it down. Like you have to organize your thoughts and you have to make it make sense. Sometimes like even if it's a little tiny thing, just, yo, let me just put the dish in the dishwasher today. Like if you're going through an episode, I get it. Don't try to do too much. Like you already know that you can't. You know, if you're having an up, like maybe you want to get like a million things done. If you're having a down, maybe you don't want to do not a single thing. And you know what? That's okay. We can't, if by people living with bipolar, we can't live our lives like everybody else. We can't try to be like others. We can't try to emulate others. We literally have to do what's good for us. And those who understand that, great. And those who don't, they can just keep on moving around. So for me, I'm glad to have my wife, because when she saw this, especially the stop being a pussy and record, like, she laughed because she knew exactly what it was. Like, when you've been with someone so long, or someone has known, helped you with your mental health for so long, they know exactly what you're doing. They know exactly why you did it. A lot of times you don't have to explain it. And if they're asking, it's because they really want to hear it from you, right? They don't want to assume. So cherish those people for sure, because those are the people that, like, when shit gets tough, they make it easier. So I hope you guys were able to take something from it, whether it's for yourself, or somebody who deals with mental health disorders, or specifically bipolar. Like, I have bipolar, anxiety, and when I was younger, it was just depression. Then they realized, oh no, he's got more. He's got anxiety, bipolar. So I hope it helps. Make sure you leave some comments, questions, inbox me. I'm always here to help. Just know that there's always support for you. There's hotlines out there. There are resources. I truly believe in therapy. So if you're struggling, you don't have good coping mechanisms like the ones I'm talking about, don't just watch my videos. Get yourself a therapist. They are going to teach you. They're going to teach you, and it's going to become muscle memory, that when you start feeling it, that the first thing you do is you start doing check-ins, and you start figuring out why you feel that way and how it happened, and just going through those emotions and trying to decipher the things that are going on internally. Those things I can't teach you. I can just share with you what I've learned, but I super duper 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 duper, like, beyond anything, go get a therapist. And I'll also encourage that your spouse, if they don't go to the therapy sessions with you, they do some therapy themselves so that they can learn how to support you. That is a great spouse, someone who wants to support you fully and doesn't mind doing a couple of therapy sessions. Maybe they go with you to your therapy sessions and just sit in. I know my wife has sat in before. So yeah, take those things. I hope they serve you well. Thank you guys for tuning in to Life of Black Moses, and just listening to me, and allowing me to share with you guys my experiences as a bipolar person, and just how I deal with that. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. I will be doing more of this because it is important, no matter how uncomfortable it is for me. You only grow in uncomfortable spaces. Remember that. I'm checking out. This is the Life of Black Moses. Y'all have a good one. Be easy.